What's up, everybody? OCD Mikey, Hi-Fi Guy here for another edition of the Mikey Show. And today I'm going to get deep right into the unapproachable subject that you're not supposed to talk about, which is high-end audio cables. Okay. First things first, I'm not going to get into the conversation of do cables make a difference or not. You can say that for somebody else. Cables absolutely make a difference, but what we're talking about here is where do you draw the line with this stuff? How do you make sense out of it all? Because there's so much BS in the cable and actually in tweaks in general area of hi-fi. It's very much a repository for huge claims. Okay. And of course, in typical fashion, you can do whatever you want in this world. You can create whatever you want, and you can sell to whatever kind of mark or whatever type of person or area of the market that you're looking for. And, so cables is an area that is rife with colorful creations. Let's put it that way, because the bottom line is it's just a freaking wire. Okay. If we want to boil it down to the bottom line, we are talking about a wire that gets a signal from point A to point B, and how elaborate can we make this wire that will allow us to charge exponentially for that wire. For instance, what I'm getting at, we take just a regular old wire, like you got in your walls, and we got a section of this, now we could take that wire out of the wall and we could put it in a big heavy hose, like a big fatter hose. The wire's this big, let's say, and the hose is this big, right? We could put it inside a rubber hose, just like your garden. We could go out, cut a piece of garden hose off, put the wire in the middle, and then fill it full of sand, and then plug it on both ends. So now I've got a wire with a little, looks like a fuse coming out of a hose, right? But I've got damping properties in there, and it's silica, so it's silica damping media. So we could come up with something creative. We could call it anti-vibration granular silica technology. Okay. And it just means sand from your kid's play box. There might even be a couple cat turds in there. And does it mean it's worthy? It does work. Sand is very good for alleviating vibration and not allowing it to get through maybe to the wire. But these are the kind of things that happen in the realm of cables, what I just described. And you'll find creations like this in AudioGone and stuff like that, like cables that are trying to get off the ground. They only really exist on the forums. They don't really have a good following. They don't exhibit at the shows. They just sell their stuff. And sure, it can sound fine, but what people are charging for it could be something altogether different. Now, I will go into this a little bit more by telling you I am a cable designer. Okay, so how I got into this business was by selling cables. I realized at an early, before I even got into the business, I looked at AudioQuest and I went, wow, how could speaker cables be $10,000? Isn't it copper wire? And I found out after reading their papers and stuff like that, I'm like, wow, this is just a spin on a wire. We're adding a geometry, we're doing this, we're doing that, and you can charge exponentially. I wanted to find out if it made a difference, so I created some by wires and I listened at a regular wire, and the difference between standard cabling with jumpers and by wire, it was audible, and the rest is history. I decided if I can create a cable company that makes cables for half the price of AudioQuest, and make them sound as good, I can probably be successful. Well, that was 24 years ago, and now I've got my cables are sold globally, and I have a patent in cable connector design that is not a patent pending. It's actually an approved U.S. patent. I have the certificates. See if I have them right here. No, I don't have them right there on my wall. Those are my trademarks right here from the U.S. Trademark Office. Anyways, because I have 4 trademarks in the hi-fi industry. So I should know a little bit. The reason I said that is because I should know a little bit about cable design. I'm a cable designer. I spent many times researching materials, dielectrics, and then minerals that I could put around them, ferroelectrics, piezoelectrics, different type of materials that would cause change in the electromagnet in the way electromagnetism worked within those material confines. Okay, and so I have a little experience. That's what I'm saying. The bottom line is, and this is my opinion, all you need are good pure metals and a well-built design, and you don't need to go across over the moon with these things. In my opinion, if you want a number, I think any cable, single cable or pair of cables, anything that's over $10,000, I think is getting into the ego hi-fi. It's getting into something else. Now, some of the cables that we see in hi-fi have these boxes in them, right? And it's basically circuitry. It's a impedance matching circuitry. You have this box that goes in the middle, and then you tell the manufacturer what speakers you have, what amplifier you have, and then they change the resistors and little things inside the box to help your speaker match your amplifier better. Well, I say, why don't you just do a better job matching the speaker and the amplifier to begin with? Why are you trying to band-aid it with a fix that goes in the middle of your damn cable when really that speaker and that amp are not ideal for each other to begin with, okay? Herein lies the rub. These are where people try and sell you whatever they can. They try and sell you $30,000 speaker cables because it's perfectly matched between your things. When really, if you would have just matched your speaker and your amp, you would not have needed to have any sort of correction in the middle of your speaker cable, okay? And again, I'm telling you my opinion, okay? You are at this channel watching me because you value my opinion, or you wouldn't be here watching, okay? And again, I'm not just a YouTube star trying to talk out my butt. I actually have experience. I have patents. I've owned a manufacturer company, audio amplifier manufacturing company in California. I had employees, engineers, all that stuff. So I'm not just talking. Okay, I can say some of this with confidence. So it's my opinion that you don't need to go crazy with these cables. Now, what I and some of the things that are what are my pet peeves about this? Really, I don't care. Anybody can make anything they want, make any claims they want in this world. Okay, it's buyer beware. It's that type of a world. But where I have issues is and it's really, I mean, I just let them be. But I have been in several systems. One was at a dealer, a really high-end dealer, right? He had all the big brands. Wilson, I don't know if he's got Magico, but he's got Sonos, he's got Griffin, he's got all these, Borison, I think he's got Avic, you know, all that stuff. Big, okay, and we listened to Wilson with Griffin, and you know, and I said, you know, it sounds we're a little edgy, man. It's not really, I'm not connecting with the music. I'm more perturbed by the edginess on certain songs. And they said, well, the cables, we still are waiting for, we've got basic cables in there right now. We're waiting for the brand that has the box in the middle that has matched our speakers to our amp and all this other crap. So basically they're telling me that the system that they have that they're playing for me is made or broken by the brand of cables that is inside. Now that is really giving your power up to the cable company. That is making the cable company your master, okay? Because you can't have good sound unless you have a cable that's matched between the amp and the speakers. That is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion, okay? That is just, that's what a way to hustle or to I guess I shouldn't use that term. What a way to, you know, sell a product and convince people that they need something when you convince them that they need a particular cable in order for the rig to sound good. Now, another show I was at a trade show, one of the audio shows, right? And there was this brand being introduced, and they were all advertising everywhere, talking up this brand, talking it up, talking it up, talking it up. And I went in the room, did not sound good. I'm like, man, and again, it was edginess, right? That's 90% of what the problems are with these rigs. They sound too sharp, too edgy, not enough life and organic nature to it. And I said, you know, and they said, oh, well, we have the wrong cables and we need to switch out the cables. Okay, fail. Okay, if your rig is dependent on the cables, you failed already. Okay, you failed. At the show that I went to in Washington, D.C., when I did my room, remember, I put my mouth where I put my money where my mouth is, and I did a room. I created a room and I exhibited, I used basic cables. I did not use my top of the line foil silver, all that kind of stuff. I used cables that were in the hundreds of dollars to prove to you guys that cables don't make or break my rig. I can make the sound the way. Now, if I wanted to tune them out a little bit and tune them, cables are good for that. Cables are good for leaning it a little bit this way, leaning it a little bit that way, just for flavor, just if you want to, right? You should have a good cable. Don't use the stock cables. Those are junky. You want to use something that's higher than stock grade, but you don't need to go crazy with the cables. Now, to exemplify this, because I'm not just talk and all talk and no solution or no follow through, I will today be putting up a group of cables that I'm going to offer to you guys at wholesale price. Now, this is something that would sell between $1,000 and $2,000. Jason White, one of my clients, you see him on my live stream, sent me some pictures of some cables he bought from a well-known amp manufacturer. Now, this can typically happen when you get component companies making their own cables. They're not cable designers. They make a regular ass cable and then they charge $2,000 for it. He had this 5-foot cable. It was $2,000. It was a power cord. He showed me pictures. He had to pull it apart because the grounds had come disconnected. He had no continuity on ground on the either end. I said, well, take the end off and you'll probably see it came unconnected. He's like, I'm ahead of you, bro. I already got the end off. And you should see what this thing looks like inside. Let me send you a picture. He said it's not even stripped clean. It's like they nicked off strands on the stranded wire. They cut off some strands. They didn't even care. They just put it together. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. Typical. And I saw the construction and I'm like, wow, this is something that is this. I would have sold that cable for maybe $900. Okay. $800 or $900. He was selling them for $2,000. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do today is I am going to put up, I think I can put 40 of them up. And no, I've got 40 in stock, ready to ship, ready to go. I've got 40 in stock of these. These are going to be cables that are between $1,000 and $2,000 cables, 5-foot power cords. I'm going to put them up for $500 a piece. And if you buy multiples, you'll be able, I'll say, let's see. Okay, so they're $500 a piece. Let's say if you buy 2, you can get 2 for a reduced cost, say $950. You buy 3, we can go like less. Like I'll make it a little so that if you buy 3, 4, or 5, you get a volume discount. Okay, these are every bit of $2,000, $1,000 to $2,000 power cords. I'm going to offer you a solution now, not just telling you about what's good and what's not and all that stuff and blah, 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 blah. I'm offering you a solution. You can go to 11 Stereo and you can buy these cables. I'll put 40 pieces of them up and they will be available. When they're gone, they're gone. I'm not going to have these all the time and definitely not at this price. But I want to show you people, all my viewers, the Hi-Fi Tribe, all these wonderful music lovers, what a high quality Mikey design cable is all about. And I'm going to offer it out at wholesale cost. This is what traditionally I would sell it to a dealer for, and he would double it. Okay. I don't need to do that anymore because I'm going to offer it direct to you guys. I believe you're a better bet than to sell to the dealers and jump in the silly game. And then I tell them that they can mark it up. We could make it $2,000, but then I sell it to them for $500, so then they can make it half off for you guys and get $1,000. It's all just a game. I'm not going to engage in that. Rather than doing that engagement, I am going to offer you, the end user, at what I would conspire with the dealer to sell for. I'd sell to them for $500. I'm going to sell it to you guys for $500. Now let me stop that. I will offer that. You'll see that on 11 Stereo. I'm going to put it up right before I drop this video so you guys can go, and it's first come, first serve. So get your orders in, and I will guarantee them. Not only will I make them wholesale cost, I will guarantee that they beat what you currently have, or you can send them back and there's going to be 0 restock fee. Okay. You just pay for shipping each way. And then if you paid via credit card or something like that, there's like the 3% that I can't recover. So the hard cost would come out of that, but everything else will be refunded to you. There's no penalty for returning, and I will guarantee it for you, just like I always do. And if you buy these things and you want to turn them back in, This is another thing too. Let's say later on you want to get the foil cables. You can turn them in and get 80% of what you paid towards your new thing or whatever. Okay. So this is my normal everyday policy that you guys are maybe not aware of. So this is the thing with cables. I am going to offer to you a power cord that is a 10 gauge silver plated copper. It's in PTFE insulation. You saw in my preamp video what mil spec PTFE insulation or dielectric is. That's going to be included in this. You're going to have a beautiful overbraid. Hang on a second. I will pause this. Okay, so I started recording again. I just had to pause this so I could grab this cable. Here's what they are like. Okay, so as you can see here, it is an audio grade end, right? So it has this is whatever rhodium plated audio grade end. It has a beautiful braid. This is an overbraid. This is not a jacket that it was slid into, so it's not loose. Okay, this is nice and tight. You can see it doesn't, this is part of the build. Custom colors, custom weave. There is also, if you look at the way these necks are made, you have your certificate of authenticity or your hologram label on there. And then these ends are reinforced in here, so there's no flex at the head. The strain relief is extremely strong in there, so you don't have to worry about things coming loose or any of that crap like many of the other crappy brands that are trying to pose as a world-class build. This is a world-class build. As you can see, it's $1,000 cable. You guys are going to be able to have it for $500 or less if you buy multiples. And that is just me putting my money where my mouth is. I will be doing that more and more. I don't just talk like this. I actually provide solutions as well. And so I just want to take that second. We're running late. So I will see you guys soon. Go to 11 Stereo and get your, let me run this little thing first. And I will say, please subscribe to the channel. Give a thumbs up to the video if you like this content. Go to 11stereo.com and you've seen that on all my other videos. 11stereo.com, and you will go to the cables, and then you will go to and you will see in the cable section, I will have this as the featured product on sale there for you guys. It's not going to be on sale. It's just going to be a short production run availability of a certain product. So anyways, that is that. And thanks for joining. See you.